Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. How are you all today? So, what is today's date? 10 of June. So, how many of you joined us for lunch earlier? How many of you didn't join? How come you all didn't join? Sifu is known for asking awkward questions. I thought I should highlight, for those who are, I guess, only those who are new are not inside the chat group. So if you're in the chat group, I was just looking at the chat group the other day, and then I realized that the announcement for the potluck lunch, the lunch dana, can give people the impression that it is a list of those who are going to join in with food. And it seems like if you are not bringing food, you are not welcomed. Yeah, that cannot be further away from the truth than anything. The truth is, it is really open to everybody. Yeah. So you're encouraged to sign up, even if you don't bring food. Yeah, because there's always more than enough food to go around for another 20-30%. Yeah, so oftentimes those who are here have to stuff themselves with food, or have to tap out after that. Yeah, so please join us, okay? It's on every Tuesday, no, not Tuesday, every second Sunday of the month, okay? Yeah. I know we are not presenting like super 10-course Manchurian dinner or whatever, yeah, but trust me, it's very, very nice. Yeah. The whole point of this is, some people ever ask me, Sifu, why have all these activities? Nothing to do with Dharma. Yeah, but actually it's not true. Yeah, it's not true. Having a meal together, it doesn't mean that it's not Dharma, because when those who bring food, they are practicing dana. Then those who come without food, you are helping to complete the dana. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, those who come without food are playing an important role also, you know. Like me, I always come without food. I come to eat food. Yeah. So, where there's a giver, there must be a recipient. Yeah. So, give and take, ma. Always give, don't take, then how? Then Shifu keep on taking. That's why you see a lot of Shifu all become yeah. The other thing, for those who have been joining us for lunch, you realize that at the start of the lunch, I will usually announce for the youth, those who are younger, to wait, yeah, and to let the seniors go ahead first. Yeah. There was one week, there were the kids from the Buddhist library Dharma school. Yeah. When we have finished the puja, the offering prayers, and then we proceeded for lunch, they were so happy, like, oh yes, we can eat finally. Then they happily queue up, you know. And then when the Sifu saw them come over, I said, wait, you all must wait. Let the seniors go first. Then all of them look at me with those cute little eyes and faces like, you know, so poor thing, you know. Yeah. And then one of them was really cute. She looked at me and she said, why can't we eat now? Or something. And I said, oh, we should let the seniors eat first. Then one of the senior boys, senior girl, who was a small kid when I was staying here. She said, it's okay, we go off first. We wait first. Oh, but that one girl, wow, throughout the whole period of waiting, she keeps staring at me. And then she kept asking me, when I went over and I talked to them, then she said, who are you? Yeah. Let me translate that for you. She was really saying, who are you to stop us from having lunch? So I asked her who her teacher is, and then she said, let me not mention the name. And she said the name. Then I'm like, your teacher is my student, you know. Then she said, you're so mean. Don't let us have our lunch. Yeah. Well, it may seem very trivial for many people, yeah, and for many parents, they rather just let their kids have their lunch, yeah, because parents are always so worried their kids will go hungry, you know. Yeah. Then later the kids become malnourished, yeah. How? Then become scrawny, then become weak, then become stupid. How? Don't worry, this is Singapore. The chances of them being malnourished is so slim. There's a much higher chance they are overnourished. There was this P3 kid. When his mom told me that she was having trouble getting him to have his meal, I was like, well, of course, because they don't feel hungry. Yeah, if they're not hungry, why would they want to eat? Yeah, most of you have your lunch already. Now, if I give you another bowl of laksa, do you think you want? Or for that matter, chicken rice, whatever you like. Yeah. After you have your meal, I give you some more. Do you think you want? Of course not. Now the best thing is that kid look at me, and you know what he asked? He said, what is hungry? He has never, well, maybe he's quite poor for his English at P3. I'm sure he has learned what hunger is or something. But he has never experienced hunger in his whole life. At P3. Yeah. And I would think that many in their teenage years currently, in their whole life, 10 over years, they have probably never experienced hunger. Yeah, why? Because the whole society has been so afraid that they go hungry. Yeah. Nothing wrong with not experiencing hunger. But when they always get to go first, then of course they're going to continue to have that idea that they have to go first. And for whatever thing that happens, they should be the first and prime and perhaps only consideration. Yeah, so even over a meal, that's something that we can perhaps learn and share as well. Yeah. So do join us every second Sunday of the month. And as you eat, then it's a practice also. Once in a while, I will share and remind. Yeah. Do we find ourselves drawn to certain food? Of course we do. We have our preferences. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes it's good to challenge ourselves. We can be happy if we get the food we like. We can be happy if we don't have to eat the food we don't like. But can we still be happy if we don't eat so much of the food we like, and we have to eat the food we don't like? Can we still be happy? If we can, then having preferences does not lead to suffering. So having preferences itself has no problem. It is when we live our life having the mindset, yeah, that our preference is the only thing that is important. I'm not saying it's not important, but is it the most important? Is it the only thing that is important? Yeah? What happened? Sim Tai Chi. Yeah. Okay, let's get started. Let's look at the left. Who is new with us for the first time? Or from over here, I look over there, I thought there's an auntie with the jacket, colorful jacket. No, second or third row. Yeah. Oh, it's actually not auntie, it's just. Yeah. I saw the jacket, I thought it's an auntie. Okay, no. Okay, I think we have some. Okay, you're not auntie. Behind also not auntie, lady behind. Yeah. Have you all introduced yourself before? No, right? Tell us your name. Don't worry. Very simple question that you can answer. Okay. Cannot. Yeah. Sorry. Siok Hong. And how do you get to know about this group? Through the chat group. How do you get into the chat group?
The course at the Buddhist Federation.
Oh, the Heart Sutra, right? You must tell them. I know, but they don't know.
I think there's a few of them in taking class.
Good. Welcome. And you?
I'm
Celine.
I come to know this through my sister.
And who is your sister? Look alike, huh? Welcome. Okay, who else? Let me see. Yes. Hello. Yes, you. No. The one whose face is going red. Tell us your name. Sorry? Jing Shen. Sorry? Jing Shi. Oh, okay. Jing Shi. Shi. Jing Shi. Oh, how to write the Shi? Tang Si the Si. Oh, Jing Shi. Which Jing? Beijing the Jing. Oh, Jing Shi. 不是新加坡的是金的是 I see. And how do you get to know about this group? Your sister. Who is your sister? Oh, hello, sister. Welcome. So, are you going to recite the Tang Si 300首? Who else? Left side, the rest are all season parking holders. Okay. Wait. There's a lady in front of her. Yes. Don't shake your hand. You sit here. You must introduce yourself. Tell us what is your name. Your name. Sorry. Halima. Yes. And who brought? From Indonesia. Yes. And who do you come with? Who you come with? Man bring you. Akong bring you here. Akong kidnap you, huh? Akong laugh already. Did you have a good lunch just now? I see that you eat very little, huh? You must eat more, you know. Okay. Welcome. Okay, on my right, who is new here? Wait, 1, 2. Okay, tell us your name. Wawa?
Yes.
Oh, Wawa. Come with your friend? Are you from Vietnam? No. Where are you from? Jakarta. So Indonesia. Which part of Indonesia? Which part? Semarang. You know Semarang? You know. Then there's Medan here. No. She's Singaporean. But her parents are her mother. No, man? Your mother is from Indonesia, right? Be proud. Yes. Okay, Jakarta. Okay. So how do you get to know about this group? From who? Your friend. Okay. Welcome. Okay, who else? Yes, Lim, Lai. Tell us your name.
Everybody, I'm Lim Jihong. I know this lesson of Sifu lesson is through trip with Sifu, so
Yes.
I promised to come and listen to him. So I can come here. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Yes. Yes, Lim was with us in Bhutan. Yeah, it was a wonderful trip. I think some of them are still suffering from withdrawal syndrome. Yeah, it was a very enjoyable trip. The guide Ganga is still posting every other day, making them feel even more Yeah, very good to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Okay, who else? Let me see. The rest. Okay, there's a lady in purple or blue. Yes.
Hello, I'm Wei Kiao. I joined the Singapore Buddhist Federation class by Reverend Raja. So today is my first visit, rather second.
Oh.
I attended your first retreat, the Liberty Retreat.
Oh, Liberty Retreat. I see, I see.
I want to know of your session, right? Every Sunday, one retreat. I'll try to join as much as possible.
Very good. Welcome. And who is that? Why don't you pass her the mic?
No, Shirley.
Shirley.
Tagging along. To find a little bit more about the class.
Okay. Good. Welcome, welcome. Okay, the rest are all season parking holders. Anybody else whom I've missed? No? Okay. Well, if I find you, you will sing a song for us. Welcome to SGC, where we have some puja, some meditation, and quite a lot of Dharma sharing. Today's topic is support and refuges in our lives. Yeah. So one over a week ago, some students asked me the question about refuge. Yeah. The question was like, what does it mean to take refuge or something? Yeah. What is refuge? So, a show of hands, how many of you have taken refuge? Okay. So, the truth is, all of us have taken refuge. Just that we take refuge in different things. Yeah. When we were young, we take refuge as well. Maybe not in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Who do we take refuge when we were young? Huh? Parents. Who do we take refuge? Parents. Don't be shy lah. Huh? Who? What? Parents. Parents. We take refuge in our parents. And even among our parents, some of us may be closer to our father, some closer to our mother. Yeah. Not saying that, not trying to create a divide, but this is normal. Why? Because we all have different affinity to one another, different connection, different bond. Yeah. There are many different reasons why there is these differences. Yeah. Sometimes it's because right there, right then, yeah, when we are young, our father and mother treat us slightly differently. Sometimes it's not because of how they treat us differently in this life. In Buddhism, we say maybe it's because of how they treat us in the past life also. Yeah, so all this together, then we feel closer to one person, but not so close to the other person. So when we are young, we take refuge in our parents. Yeah, very prominently. For many kids, when we have nightmares, yeah, in the middle of the night we wake up, yeah, the first person we call is who? Who is this? Who is the person? So it depends. For myself and for many people, it's Ma. Yeah, and if you are like me, I remember sometimes in the middle of the night sometimes 1 plus, 2 plus, then there's a thunderstorm, and then I get awakened, then wow, then, you know, lightning flash, rain. Wow. Then as a small kid, you know, even before going to P1, yeah, in kindergarten, then you're so afraid, you know. Then what do? You run to your mother's room, your parents' room, yeah, and then you wake them up. Yeah, and sometimes try to squeeze in the bed. Yeah. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Today's session is a lot of questions and answers. Answers must be from you, not from Sifu. Otherwise, I'm just telling my own tale. Yeah, although I quite like it, but or so you all think. Yeah. So, dinosaurs some more. Never mind, sit down. Want to come and sit with Sifu? Huh? Okay, haven't finished. I finished for you. No problem, Sifu can finish very quickly. Okay, 不要抢镜头，不要抢镜头。Yeah. So you see, come with father, or come with mother, or come with father and mother. Yeah. In the example I gave, whether it's a nightmare or it's thunderstorm, we seek refuge in our parents. Yeah. Why? Why don't we seek refuge in our neighbors? Yeah. Quickly open the main door, then run out, and then knock on the neighbor's door. Gong. Uncle, kilai. Why do we look for our parents? Why? Raise your hand. Then everybody keep quiet. Why? Security. Because parents can give us security. Yeah. Treat this like a chit chat, not Dharma talk. Then you will not be so stressed. Yeah. Every time I give a talk, I'm just chit chatting, no. So no stress. Yeah. Give you security. Yeah. So security from what? From scary things. Yeah? Security from scary things. Scary thing that has danger. But when we have nightmare, is there real danger? No real danger. So sometimes it's not from actual danger. Sometimes it's potential danger. Yeah? Or even perceived danger. When our kids come to us, what do? Yeah? When our kids have a nightmare and they come to you, what do? You comfort them. Do you do this? Do you go like, why? What's the problem? Can you go and fill up the form? What time is it now? Can you go online and submit a service request? Yeah? Do you give your kid a timing? Like, boy, let me tell you, okay? You can look for mommy during the office hours, okay? What is the office hours? 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Okay? Saturday is half day. Sunday, don't look for mommy, okay? Is it like that? Oh, it's like that. Lagi senang. So, I think for all mommy and daddies, it's 24/7. If your child come to you at 4 a.m. in the morning, would you say, hey, look at the time. What do you want? You won't. Yeah. Especially if your child come at odd hours, you will be even, maybe you are so tired, At 10 o'clock you're so tired, you knock out already, But if your child suddenly call you or come to your room at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., wow, suddenly you have all the energy in the world, Yeah? Wow, suddenly you are so full of energy and you want to attend to your child immediately. Yeah. When we receive such care and attention, yeah, we receive such support from our parents, then, wow, how do we feel? How do we feel? We feel secure. Yeah. We feel secure. What else? Yeah. We feel comforted. Yeah, we feel comforted. So parents give security, they give comfort, and so on. And the important thing is, whether it's real danger, potential danger, or perceived danger, our parents will attend to it. This is very crucial. Because imagine if your child, or if you are the child, I know most of you are not child, only a few child here. Yeah, like for example, Sean. No, Sean is not a child anymore. Yeah, but imagine, try to recall when you were a child. Yeah, I remember when I was a child. Even, Hokkien we say, "Ya lang sai," lion dance. I'm afraid of the lion in the lion dance, Yeah, until I was in my 20s, then I'm not afraid, Yeah. For some reason, even when I was a teenager, I don't dare to go too near. Yeah. When I was a kid, even worse. Wow, when they start, then the lion, maybe, I don't know. Maybe the lion dance in the past, they are more professional. So it looks very real, like, wow. I remember once, at first I didn't know, I was so excited. I go. Then when the lion comes, I run. And then at that point in time, I think my cousins were there. Akun, I run and jump up and catch him. Yeah. So, perceived danger. Is there danger in the lion dance? No. How about nightmares? Are there dangers in nightmares? There are no danger as well. No real danger anyway. Yeah. But how do parents react to kids who are afraid? Do the parents comfort them nonetheless? Or do the parents say, "Aiya, stupid boy, tell you so many times, dreams are not real. Go back. Do you do that to your child?" I know some of you do that. Don't have to admit, okay? Don't have to raise your hand. Yeah, but this is something that we should reflect on. We should reflect on. But we don't just do this to our children. Or we are not the only one who receive this when we are a child. Sometimes among friends, among peers, this happens as well. For example, sometimes when we visit a friend's place, and then the friend has a dog. How many of you have pet dogs? How many of you? Raise your hand. Or have had pet dogs before? How many of you? Handful of you. The number one thing that pet owners always say, "Don't worry, it will not bite one." Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it will not bite until it bites. Yeah, I remember when I was in secondary 2 or 3. Yeah, there was once I went to my friend's place. I was in Tanjong Katong Sec, and along Tanjong Katong Road, right? He stayed down the road before Dunman High, Dunman Sec. So one day, we happened to go to his place, and he had this dog that is the dog on all fours is about this high, up to about higher than my waist. So when he went in, he just went in himself, and I was going to go in, and then the dog was not caged, not leash, And he came in and says, just come in, my dog okay one. So I really go in, I mean, if there's one thing about me, I usually just take people's word for it. And I take people's word literally. So I went in, the dog came after me. Oh! And went up. The two paws on me, I hold on to the paws. And the face is up here. I was like, in my mind, frankly, I don't know what was in my mind. I'm like, why am I your dog don't bite? It is a few inches away from my face. Yeah, so this one thing, as much as I think up to a certain age, I stopped being afraid of dogs. In particular, after my 7 months Taiwan trip, when I came back, for some reason, dogs became afraid of me. Yeah, I'm serious. I don't know what happened. I'm not here to tell you how to do that. I don't know how it happened also. Maybe it's the water I drank. But when I came back from Taiwan, I remember there was once we were going to NTUC along Aljunied Crescent area with my family. And then there was this person with a puppy dog, a small little puppy. Usually last time, even small little dogs, they see me, they will bark at me, That day, I walk, our eyes met. And then there was a turning point. The dog looked at me, and I look at him, and somehow he knows that I'm not afraid of him. And he turned around and and that was the moment I realized, I'm not afraid of dogs anymore. And they know. Very strange. So from then on, I don't need anybody to give me refuge from or protection from dogs. Yeah, but for those who are still afraid, when you go to a friend's place, a neighbor's place, or whoever's place, and they have dogs, how do you feel when they ignore your plea? When you tell them that you're afraid of the dog, and all they say is, my dog never bite people one. How do you feel? Do you feel safe? Do you feel assured? Or do you feel like your need is neglected? Would you be more likely to go or not to go to that person's place again? Probably not. And I'll tell you, it seems justified for dogs. But how about cats? There are people who are afraid of cats, Yeah, there are. And for those who are not afraid of cats, you're like, why would you be afraid of cats? But the thing is, it's not about whether there is real danger. It's not about whether there's real danger. If the person perceives danger, that's good enough. Because when the person perceives danger, the person is going to feel scared, going to feel fearful, is unsettled. So from our parents, from different sources, we derive protection, comfort. We derive refuge. From our parents, it's not just protection from nightmares, it's not just protection from storms and so on. We derive so much more from them. When we are sick, when we are young, who do we look for? Our parents. Why do we look for our parents when we are sick? You all never fall sick when you're young? I'm sure we do, right? Why do we look for them when we are sick? Because they will nurse us, they will take care of us, they will know what to do. When we are young, it's like they always know what to do. So comforting. Anything, ma. When I was young, I would always go to bathe without a towel. And then after bathing, ma, tuala. My mom for years always like, what is it that every time you go to bathe and then you don't bring your towel? But not just that, anything that I can't find, ma. And somehow she come into the room. And the best thing is in primary school, our primary school is very nearby. So sometimes when I go to school, I forget my textbook, I forget my exercise book, then I will call back, yeah, call back home. Ma, what begins? I forgot to bring this, I forgot to bring that. Then my mom will, yeah. She will show some displeasure, but she will still bring it. Wow. Of course, not to let you all think that my father never do anything. Because my father was busy working lah. Yeah, where got time to come and bring things for you? Yeah, my father was busy working. So the two of them together provided refuge. Yeah, they split the roles very nicely. Yeah, not easier. But as we grow up, then are they still our refuge? Maybe yes, maybe no. In some cases, then lesser and lesser. For example, now when you are sick, do you go and look for a mother again? Do you look for a father when you are sick now? Now, when they are sick, they come to us. So now we have become their refuge. It's a very beautiful thing. Yeah, it's a very beautiful thing. Yeah. Beautiful in that we have a chance to be refuge for them. Yeah. Some people see this as a burden. Very sad. You see in the newspaper. That day I shared one image of this old lady with an umbrella. I don't think she said this. I think the person just, choose this photo and then put the words on it. And the words are, I see a lot of people fighting for inheritance. I see very few people fighting to take care of their parents. Yeah, it's very sad. Yeah. But actually, a lot of people fight to take care of their parents also, only when they are going to die. Because whoever is taking care of, then I should have a bigger share. So sad. So when I was in my early 20s, I told my mom, whatever you all need to use, that was before I became a monk or even decided to become a monk. I told my mom, whatever you all need to use, you all just use as much as you can. I can take care of myself. You don't have to leave anything for me. Yeah, turned out to be true. Yeah, but even then, I think they are secretly still thinking, we must leave something for this San Sifu. Yeah, but really shouldn't. Yeah, whatever you all left behind, just let my sister split it. Because I think they need it more. I don't need much. I just need my handphone. At most, if nobody let me stay anywhere, I just go to MacRitchie. Yeah. So as we grow up, when we are sick, we go directly to the doctor. So we start to take refuge in the doctor. Yeah. Then we go to school. So instead of asking our parents, what is this? Ma, 这是米来. Ma, here's 米来. What is this? What is that? Then we ask our teachers. But nowadays, kids in school, they don't do that also. What do? Yeah. They are even suspicious of their teacher. So kids nowadays, their life is very complicated, In our time, if teacher says so, teacher says so. Lor. Yeah. Anytime you have argument, you don't believe, go and ask teacher. Lor. Yeah, anything you ask teacher, teacher says so, teacher say one. Got him. Don't have to argue. Our life is very simple. Nowadays, when the teacher is teaching, what happened? The kid down there, Google. Teacher, not true leh. What piang? Huh? Do you all do this?
Yes.
Do you all do this?
I do that in your class.
You do that in my class, right? But somehow until today, haven't find anything wrong, right? Oh. Say yes.
Yes.
开玩笑。Yeah. But it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. For me, I don't mind, I don't care. Yeah, because if you really find that what I said is wrong, better that you point it out, Because if you don't point out, then everybody get it wrong. Then I'm having heavy karma. Yeah, in Buddhism, we don't care about the face. the karma is more important. Yeah. So sometimes maybe my idea is right, but in the course of the speech, then there's a slip of tongue. Then you better correct me. You better correct me. So nowadays we have different sources of refuge. We take refuge more in the internet, Wikipedia. Nowadays, even some random blog we also believe. Yeah. Anything that appears on the internet, we believe. Anything that appears on the phone, we are more likely to believe than otherwise. In the past, it was different. In the Buddha's time, it was whoever has reputation, yeah, a well-known teacher who has heard it from his teacher, who has heard it from his teacher in turn, a recognizable lineage of sources of knowledge and wisdom. This is something that is trusted. Some people ask me, how come in the Buddha's time they never write down the teachings? Why wait until 100 over years later? Well, it is not that in the Buddha's time there was no inscription. There were already. It's just that it's not popular. Yeah, it's just not popular. It's like now there's handphone and all those things, right? How many of you write everything on your handphone? Write notes onto your handphone? There are some people who still prefer a small little notepad to write their diary. Yeah? There are still some people who prefer to read hardcover than to read on the handphone. So the presence of a technology doesn't mean that people will use it. Just because there's something worthy of refuge doesn't mean people will take refuge in it. Yeah. So in the Buddha's time, the teachings were passed through oral transmission. Yeah. Why? Because that was the practice. People were used to it. People were more likely to believe in that. Yeah. So that was the norm in a sense. Over the centuries, writing became prominent. So people tend to believe not just what people say, but what people wrote. Or if it appears in a book, it must be correct. Yeah? This is a culture that developed over time. Until today, then we have television, we have internet, and in future, who knows what. All these different forms of refuge. In school, we learn from our teachers. Then gradually, our reliance may shift to our friends also. Yeah. So all this subtly become our sources of refuge. But does it mean that when we say we take refuge in our friends, do we ask our friends to sit down? Come, sit down. Then we 香花映，香花情，一心定。Do we do all the ritual chanting and then bow down? Do we do this? To our friends, 师父笑啊. Of course we don't do this. Yeah. That is the ceremony. Yeah, that is the ceremony. But apart from the ceremony, in our heart, in our mind, we do take refuge in our friends. In whomsoever that comes to mind when you encounter a problem, that you think of this person, that this person can help you, and you will seek out this person to get help from this person. That person is your refuge. Yeah, that person is your refuge. Not because you go through the ceremony or not. So of all the different sources of refuge, some can help you, some cannot help you. Yeah, like sometimes sources of refuge can get into conflict also. Yeah, if you are in a car, then especially husband and wife, then the husband insists on driving on his own, or maybe follow the GPS, and then the wife don't want to follow, or the wife want to follow GPS, the husband don't want to. Then what happened? Conflict. Yeah, then they may end up fighting. Not that the phone fight with you, but we fight with the idea of using the phone. Yeah. Sometimes we may also encounter this. Yeah, the GPS lead us to the wrong place. Yeah, have you all encountered before? I'm sure. Yeah. Sometimes the GPS is confused because we make one turn too many. Sometimes it's because we don't know how to Sometimes the GPS say turn left, we don't turn left, we go straight. So, yeah. And sometimes it's our friends. Yeah. Our friends with a very kind heart. Yeah. And our friends sometimes genuinely think that they know how to go to that place and tell you, "Aiya, stupid GPS, don't listen to GPS. I know how to go to that place." Yeah. And sincerely lead you to the wrong place. And that's a very important thing, though. It's not that they try to harm us. It's not that they purposely lead us to the wrong place. They are sincerely doing it. So, just because someone offers themselves as refuge, or someone looks like a dependable source of refuge, doesn't mean that that person or that entity is a good source of refuge. Yeah. When we talk about refuge, there must be a current state. And B, a desired state. And C, a path leading from A to B. Yeah. Whenever we talk about refuge, in particular for Buddhism, there's always these three things. Yeah, but let's look at our parents as refuge. Yeah? When we have a nightmare, what is our current state? Our current state is fear. What is our desired state? To be comforted. Yeah? And our parents offer the path. Yeah? Our parents must offer the means to comfort us so that we can be brought from fearful state to comforted state. When we are sick and we see a doctor, what is the current state? We are sick. Sick chicken. We are sick. And then the desired state? To be cured, to recover. Yeah? And the path is the prescription, the nursing, and so on. Yeah. So likewise for Buddhism. Yeah, in the case of Buddhism, we have the three refuges. What are the three refuges? The three refuges are Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. What is our current state? Yes. Current unenlightened state. And what is the desired state? Enlightenment, enlightened state. Quite apparent, huh? And what is the path? The way to lead us to enlightenment? Yes, the Noble Eightfold Path. Well, this class is quite well informed now. Who is your teacher? Oh, not bad, not bad. Yeah. So, but there's something here, you know. How many of you, honestly, how many of you never heard of this process? Raise your hand. You sure? Everybody here? Huh? All of you heard before? Unenlightened to enlightened state? You never heard before. Who else? The rest all heard before. You had never heard before. Okay. Who else? 2%. Keep your hands up. Quick, how can you not heard before? You have been attending? Before you... Before you know Buddhism, of course you don't know. Yeah. The reason why I ask this is, now for those of us who have learned some Dharma, attended some classes, and if the class actually teach you something, then this is quite apparent. But if you ask any Buddhist on the street, I can tell you, most Buddhists will look at this like, huh? You mean taking refuge is like that? Yeah. Most people, for that matter, don't even know that in Buddhism, taking refuge is a crucial thing. What does it mean to take refuge? Yeah. The first thing is, let me see, there are a few things I want to share today, and let me see which angle I shall go into. Okay, maybe let me describe this first. First of all, refuge, the 3 refuges. So, first and foremost, we take refuge in the Buddha as our teacher. Now, of course, when we say our teacher, then for some people it's like, just teacher. Yeah, in fact, there's a student who always texts me and say, teacher. I thought it was quite cute, quite funny. Last time, about maybe 10 years ago, when someone called me teacher, I got quite offended. Like 2 seconds. Is it working now? Oh, very good. Where was I? Yes. So last time when people call me teacher, I'm being honest with you. Nothing proud. That's the wrong thing. Yeah, but last time I was so stuck with the idea. Wow, I become monk, must call me 法师. Why call me 老师? I tell you, when you are just ordained, that's where all the funny ideas come out. Yeah. Sometimes people call me Mr. Shi. Oh, I tell you, the best is when it's an interfaith, program. Interfaith, so you have all the different religions come together to promote understanding, and then the organization call you up and then call you Mr. Shi. Yeah, sometimes they are a bit better. They call me Venerable Shi. Yeah. But Venerable Shi is very funny because all Chinese monks have the same surname Shi. Yeah, because it's a shortened from Shijia, which is a transliteration of Sakya. Yeah, that means we are the disciple of the Buddha. Yeah, Sakya clan. So when they call Venerable, hello, is that Venerable Shi? I'm like, yeah, this is Venerable Shi, but I'm not sure whether you are looking for the right Venerable Shi. But of course, actually now to me, okay lah, you want to call me teacher lor. It's okay. Yeah. Some people they may think differently. Yeah, but when we refer to the Buddha as our teacher, it is not with disrespect. Yeah, it is the recognition of the relationship we have with the Buddha, that we are taking the Buddha officially as our teacher. So taking refuge is basically the start of being a Buddhist. Last time when I heard this, I thought it's because of the ceremony. Then you are officially a Buddhist. But actually the reason is, there's a logical reason to this. Let me explain now. Today, when a person is a Buddhist, what does it take to be a Buddhist today? Today, all you need to do is register with NRO, fill up the form, tick religion, Buddhist. Then you are Buddhist. You may not have ever gone to a temple before, never ever read any teachings before, attend a Dhamma talk before, don't even know how the Buddha statue look like, never see a monk before, but you can be a Buddhist. You just have to fill up the form, Buddhist. Then you are Buddhist. All the way until you die at 93 years old, you don't know anything, but you're considered a Buddhist. Then when you die, and then the funeral parlor, the undertaker come, and then they ask your family members, what kind of service you want? My father, check IC. Oh, Buddhist. Then, okay, I arrange Buddhist for you. Buddhist funeral for you. Yeah, so that day, or yesterday, one family told me that the funeral parlor actually arranged for some monks to come and chant. And according to her, can I review the name? Just nod your head if it's okay. Actually, it's assuming. So she was sharing with me yesterday. I went to that place, have lunch with the family. So she told me that the monk, don't know whether real monk or the Tanjak monk or something. But because she has learned some Dhamma and some chanting before, so when she heard the chanting, she said, don't know what she is chanting. Aiyo. So no wonder why some supposed Buddhists feel like, whether I'm Buddhist or not Buddhist, no difference. Of course there's no difference because you're not really a Buddhist. You are just form Buddhist. Filling up a form kind of Buddhist. Yeah. Actually, being a Buddhist doesn't mean that. In the sutra, what happens? Oh, no. In the sutra, there's no such a term as Buddhist. In the sutra, it's called disciples of the Buddha. Or Buddha's disciples. Yeah. 佛弟子. Yeah. What does it mean by 佛弟子? Let me ask you. Let's say, if there's a well-known calligrapher, who has an exhibition in Singapore, and then you go there and you admire all the calligraphy, and you're so inspired, wow, so amazing, this calligrapher. And that day, the calligrapher happened to be in town and happened to be there, and the calligrapher happened to just bump into you and saw you admiring his work, and then he said, "How? Do you want to learn?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" And then, you take him as your teacher, zham cao and everything, go through the ceremony. Then maybe even give you his name card, then give you tell you, okay, this is maybe your student, whatever, pass, whatever lah. Okay. Then you even take photo, and then somehow a few minutes later, press came on. The press was asking, what's happening? Then the well-known calligrapher told the press, this is my latest disciple. 一炮而红. The next day, immediately you are well-known. Not because you are a well-known calligrapher, not because you can even write, but because your teacher is a well-known calligrapher. So months later, Chinese New Year approaches. Because you are well-known, because you are on the newspaper, so people come to you, ask you, 来嘞, 提几个字, write a few 对联春联then you say, cannot, don't want. Don't be so selfish lah. Zhu Bing, come on, write some. Then Zhu Bing say, no. Let's say Zhu Bing come and look for me. I'm the one, because it's not a good example. And Zhu Bing come and ask, hey, Shifu, that day I saw your newspaper. Write some for me lah. Then what if I say, no, cannot. No lah, Shifu, please write for me. No, I really cannot write. I don't know how to write. But Shifu, you are on the newspaper. You are the disciple. He is a well-known calligrapher. How can you say you don't know how to write? No, but I really don't know. Why? What happened? No, after that day, he flew back to China, to Hong Kong, to Taiwan, then never see him again. Then you mean you never get his number? I have his name card. Then you hey, it's been 6 months since last year until now. Now Chinese New Year, February. You mean you didn't do anything? No, I didn't do anything. What kind of student are you? You see? If you are the student of a well-known calligrapher, at least you must learn at least one word, fu. Very important, right? Fu. Then, anytime Chinese New Year, 来写. Okay, go. The best 学草书的，随便学郑恺凶哦。But 福字 quite easy because there are a lot of strokes. So roughly looks quite good. Yeah, if you write 一个一，哇 you must have 功夫。没有功夫不要写那种。If you don't have 功夫don't write those words characters that has very few strokes. 一看就知道，哎，这个不行。The same goes for any other thing. Yeah. If you're from a certain school, you better be of a certain standard. Correct or not? Yeah. So likewise, when we say we are Buddhists, you must know that being a Buddhist really means you're a disciple of the Buddha, no. Not some kuching kura teacher, no. Buddha leh. You know what is a Buddha or not? What is a Buddha? Huh? Fully enlightened one, no. You go and ask around, whose teacher is fully enlightened? Nobody claimed that, no. Only Buddha made that claim and was able to justify it, no. Yeah. When he first stated that claim, there were people who don't believe him. Yeah. But he was able to stand firm with it. And over the course of 45 years, nobody was able to refute his claim. Not just he kong, then, okay, inside here we can say, go out, don't tell people. It's not that like, over here in SGC, I tell you, hey, don't record this one. No, Buddha. And in fact, this statement that he is all the epithets, yeah, Iti Piso, Bhagava, Araham, Sama, Sambuddho, and so on, this is what people say about him. After a while, it was no longer about he stating that he has awakened. That when people ask him, what are you? Awakened. It's no longer about that, It is after what people observe, what people hear. What people hear about him, what people hear from his teachings. When people ask him questions, sometimes going out of their way to ask him difficult questions. And the Buddha was able to reply calmly. Sometimes going there, asking very unreasonably, hurling abuse, verbal abuse, but he was able to remain resolute. So it was not just him talking about peace and calm. He was literally an embodiment of that. Not just talking about love and compassion, but he was behaving, he was exuding love and compassion. Not just him talking about wisdom, but he expressed wisdom in whatever he do and say. And in this way, in those days, you will hear, there is this ascetic Gautama who is in town. This report is heard about him. He is an awakened one. He is a blessed one. He is a knower of the world. He's a teacher of men and gods. This report has been said about him, that he is fully enlightened. It will be good to see such arahants. It is good for us to go and hear what he has to say. This is what was expressed, Then people hear this, wow, really? Hey, come, let's go and take a look. And they don't just go there and then just listen, no. They will ask questions. So when we say we are disciples of the Buddha, we are Buddhists, it must be that we are disciples of the Buddha. Two things. We must have committed to be a disciple of the Buddha. Then we can say we are Buddhists. Rightly speaking, every year people, when they are born, then they take Buddhist. Actually, Bupake. Strictly speaking, Bupake. What do you mean by Bupake? No, ma, Sifu, every year, census is inside the numbers. That is the statistics number. That's the statistic number. When I say Bupake doesn't count, what does it mean? It means, again using the example of the calligrapher, if you are truly the disciple of a well-known calligrapher, then with that comes certain ability. Then you would have learned certain things. Yeah, that is what it means by whether it counts or don't count. If you are from a certain school, having learned under certain professors or teachers, then you should have acquired certain level of knowledge and mastery over certain subjects. That is what we mean by does it count or not. If you are just disciple by name, then that's all you are, just disciple by name. And then you cannot reap the full benefits. And it is not that the Buddha purposely hold back. You just fill out form, I don't give you full benefits. It's not. It's not that the teacher in school, because you don't attend class, so the teacher hold back and you cannot be so smart. It's not. It's that if you don't attend class, of course you are not so smart. So we are the one who limit ourselves from enjoying the full benefits of being a Buddhist. In other words, there are benefits. There are benefits. If there are no benefits, why be a Buddhist? No benefits, so sad. Take refuge for what? If there are no difference, then what for go through the trouble? So sometimes in class, I recently mentioned in the Heart Sutra class, some students say, but Sifu, I already learned Dharma, I practice what? So what for? Why do I have to go through, be a real Buddhist or whatever, go through refuge? Really, no difference. Yeah, no difference. Some of you haven't taken refuge. Now running off already. Quick, close the door, let out the dogs. So I would ask people, is there really no difference? And they said, yes, no difference. No difference? Yeah. No difference, then why don't you take refuge? This is something that the truth is there is a difference. Because with the benefits come responsibility. Because if you don't put in effort to learn, how can you get any benefit? Buddhism is not some membership card. You just sign up, then, just present this card at Starbucks, you get a free drink. Sorry, wrong side. Something lah. People tend to think of religion in this way. I just join membership, then I get some, what is the perk? Nothing wrong with looking for the perks. In fact, one should really look at the terms and conditions. What am I required to contribute, and then what do I get as a result? Let me tell you, all clubs and membership have these two parts. You give something, you get something. The difference is, whatever we give into Buddhism, it's not that Buddha take, no. It's not that Sifu take your cultivation, no. It's that whatever you do, that is what you receive. That is your karma. That is your action. That is you planting the seed. So, is there? Yes, in Buddhism there is. As a Buddhist, so when we go through refuge taking, it is basically the declaration to take Buddha as our teacher. The truth is, every week you all recite one. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Right? Do you know or not? Don't know. We have we have Pali and English, no? You cannot say, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know. Really? I didn't know that. Don't worry, I have proof. So, you see? 南无本师释迦牟尼佛. Then in case you are still in doubt, Chinese again. Homage to our teacher. So let's take a look. You see? I go to the Buddha as my refuge. What is refuge? In this case, is actually taking the Buddha as our teacher. So every week you all say already, ma?
Not only that, we still say 3 times.
Someone say 3 times though. First time not enough. Maybe you are a bit just blur, just say no. Second time, Dutiyam pi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. For a second time, see? Let me see whether I can zoom in. Zoom in. For the second time, I go to the Buddha as my refuge. Big. 招北可. Yeah, but say is say lah. Who cannot say? Yeah, anyone can say. But 有口无心. But it's okay. Every week we say, we plant a seed. Then after 1 month, after 2 months, after 3 months, after half a year, after 1 year, after 2 years, after 3 years, after 6 years, after 10 years, one day, wow, maybe here, maybe at home, maybe in some retreat, maybe overseas, then when we hear the sound, this verse being recited, Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, or we hear 皈依佛，当愿众生体解大道，发无上心。And bow down. Maybe at that moment, we connect with the full teacher and we really feel, I must sincerely take the Buddha as my refuge, as my teacher. It's rare to find one who is enlightened. I don't know what lucky charm I have, you know. Heng heng sui sui, I kena no. Not sui sui, heng heng. Not sui sui, never sui sui. You have to wonder, what is the good thing that I have done in the past that I encounter an enlightened one to be my teacher? What good deed have I done in the past that I deserve this? Yeah? How many people have supported me for so many lives that I have this chance today? Wow! But Shifu, one by how many people supported me? You must know that for any of us to take refuge in this life, all the masters in all the different traditions, to have passed down the lineage in an unbroken fashion, all the way preserving it until today, then you have a chance, ma. If halfway through the monks and the nuns decided, why must I be so hard on myself? I just cultivate in the mountain myself, lor. Why must I go and bother with all these lay disciples? Why must I trouble myself? It's so much trouble and weary. Let's all just hide in the mountain. Don't let them come. We just meditate and enter Parinibbana ourselves. And then, what happened? Then today, what will happen is, we will learn about Buddhism in history. Then we'll hear, in year AD 1,200 years, Buddhism was still practiced in small pockets in northern India and some parts of East Asia. In the 15th century, Buddhism was only relegated to some villages in China. Then by 17th century, Buddhism has all but died out. Then we hear, in the 18th century, there was a mild resurgence that turned out to be a cult. Then that's all you'll hear, you know. It's just a concept. It was a very interesting teaching, but nobody practiced it anymore. So don't think that, I take refuge, I'm such a big deal. No, It's because of so many masters in the past that make it possible for us. Masters that we have not heard of before, so we don't even know. So in some teachings they say, we are so ungrateful. But not that you are not ungrateful, but it's just that we don't have the capacity to have that gratitude. But even though you don't know them directly, it's good to reflect on conditions, reflect on emptiness, reflect on how just merely taking refuge requires so much conditions from individuals, not just monks and nuns also. Generations of monks, nuns, and laymen, laywomen. Just monks and nuns alone cannot sustain it also. Although throughout all the traditions, monks and nuns are the torchbearer. But we must know, no? There are no monks and nuns who are born as monks and nuns, No such thing as being born as a monk and nun, Monks and nuns always come from lay people. So once in a while, you all have to be a bit generous. Give your children to become monks and nuns. Otherwise, supply and demand, not supply and demand. Yeah. Because those of us who become monks and nuns, there's only one way towards death. Well, we have to grow old. We will grow old. It's a matter of time. Not a matter of if, but a matter of when. Yeah. And if there's no new blood coming in, we cannot go and produce our own monks and nuns. Cannot produce like that. We always must recruit. We cannot produce. So how? Yeah. So that's why lay people are very important. We are equal partnership. Yeah. So if you all can't hold back, cannot. Even learn Dharma class, cannot. Then okay lor. So the fact that today we still have Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, we still have a chance to take refuge. Take refuge in the Buddha as our teacher, his teaching, take refuge in his teaching, and the community. Here I must highlight, I don't care about modern interpretation or Sangha actually means fourfold community. No. As far as the sutra is concerned, Sangha strictly refers to the community of monks and nuns. Yeah. In other places, the Buddha highlighted the importance of the fourfold community. But when he referred to fourfold community, it's different from all other suttas where he talked about Sangha. Yeah. In one particular case, then lay people are included. It is when it is an enlightened lay follower. Enlightened lay follower then becomes part of the Arya Sangha. Arya Sangha. If it's Bhikkhu Sangha, then it is monks. And Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni Sangha, then is, or the common term is Savaka Sangho. When you recite the Sangha Vandana, Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. Usually when we recite, we tend to just recite. Actually, Savaka Sangho is Savaka. Savaka is hearers, referring to the Sangha, the monastic Sangha. Sangho, in the singular form. So, Sangha, strictly speaking, refers to the monastic Sangha. Then if you include the Aryan Sangha, then can be monastic, can be lay. Some people say, oh, this is very exclusive. But if you think about it, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha is exclusive. That's why it's called the triple gem. Gem, not triple stone. If you want to be exclusive, if you don't want to be exclusive, want to be more inclusive, then should be stone ma. Everything Paulo. Cannot. For something to be worthy as refuge, it's not anything, it's not just to make people feel good. Ayah, Sifu, you define Sangha this. Not I define. Buddha defined this way in the sutra. Not my fault. You want to argue, go and argue with the Buddha behind. Not my fault. Because this is not being exclusive to exclude. It is to highlight that this tree has certain qualities that is rare, that is difficult to find, that makes it worthy of refuge. Just now I mentioned, parents are our refuge when we are young. Why? Because anytime you look for them, they are there. Even when you grow up, they are still there. How many people can do that? Yeah, not many. But our parents only serve as our refuge. Other people come and knock on their door, you think they bother? You think they bother? Maybe one time cannot help them. But too many times, right? It doesn't make our parents evil. It doesn't mean that our parents are not good people. But it only makes them human. Whereas for Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, the Buddha don't say, you want to be my disciple? You're Singaporean Chinese. I'm Northern Indian. No, it's different. No. The Buddha accepted whoever who is ready. Yeah. Even those whom society has cast out. Society considers them to be, you're worthless. You're born into this caste. You're impure. Da, da, da. The Buddha, no, come. And even admitted them into the Sangha. The teaching is open. Yeah. Whoever is ready to investigate, ready to take responsible for your own happiness, ready to put in the effort, is ready for you to discover for yourself, to see for yourself. Ehi pasiko. Yeah? Come and see for yourself. Don't have to argue, come and see. See in your life. Not go to the mountain to see. Not go to Bhutan to see. The peace can be attained in your office. Yeah. In where your worry is, that peace and nibbana is. Yeah. Of course, once in a while you cannot take it. You have to go Bhutan. Then look for Lim Chin Fat. But the true refuge. Sometimes students are quite fed up with me. Why? Because I always like to teach them how to do it themselves. But don't be mistaken thinking that, Sifu, this Sifu very mafan. Think he's so big, Sifu. I was like that even in the past as well. Even when I was a lay person, when people come and look for me for help, I almost don't recall ever saying no to anyone. Unless I really cannot, or I'm really in the middle of something, I can't do it immediately. Otherwise, I will try to help. But when I help, I don't just take over and do it for them. I usually want to teach them how to do it themselves. But after all these years, since, I don't know, maybe even primary school or secondary school, all these years, I found that most people prefer that you do it for me. Even now, sometimes poly students come and look for me, look for me about their programming subjects. Then some of them will bring their friends, because their friends also don't know how to do. Then when their friends come to the temple and see me, then their friends have the look of, are you kidding me? Are we really coming to look for a monk? 到山上去取经去了。And when I refuse to help them directly, then it adds on to the doubt, are we wasting our time? So there was once I told them, look, as far as your project is concerned, I can do it in maybe a few hours. I can finish it. We don't have to spend a few days. But if I do that, it will not benefit you. It will harm you. Because you will not learn anything. You will definitely get A, I will assure you. The code you will get A. Yeah, and I have their grades to to stand by. Yeah, they really got A. In fact, one of them even come back and tell me that the lecturer even asked him like, wow, your code is even more refined than that the code that he produced is more refined than the lecturer's code. 开玩笑. But still, it gives me more pleasure, more satisfaction to teach them how to do it. Yeah, so 很折腾啊, because they end up having to spend hours and then get grilled by me, then they do, then hang, then this and that, then let me school them, then tell them, hey, this is basic concept, which year are you? Year 2, you should know this data structure. Then they say, teacher never teach. Then I'm like, yeah, I never, I went to JC, never go to poly, but seriously, how can it be so different? So I explained to them, then they say, never did learn before. Then I'm like, show me your lecture notes in PDF, open up. And because I never studied in poly, and I've never seen their lecture notes, imagine when I open up their lecture notes, and then I look for data structure, the lecturer's notes is almost word for word what I just said. Yeah, because data structure is data structure. There's no second way around it. So when they tell me that, oh, lecturer never teach, I'm like, hey, it's inside your PDF. Here's the trouble. We tend to want to have the shortcut. We want people to just do it for us. Yeah. So those who come and learn from me have a hard time. If you are those who really want to learn to become independent thinkers and have the knowledge yourself, you will enjoy. And enjoy in the sense that you go through a lot of shit and tough time, and then you enjoy the fruits. Because learning is always like that. What? I've never heard of anyone who becomes successful, who become brilliant, just sitting around drinking lemonade. If there is, let me know. Then we don't have to sit on the floor, on the cushion, and then bear with pain. Let me know which guru can get you enlightened just drinking lemonade for 3 days. Might as well, like 3 days investment, not too much. Yeah? Just go and try it. After 3 days, see how enlightened you are. Yeah, then one day, when I went through the whole day, and then I forgot I got double booked. And then the other group came over and looked for me, and I had to go off. And then I said, hey, pass me the computer. They said, we are still not done. Just pass it to me. About 10-15 minutes later, okay, done. You go back and just take a look. Then he said, but we haven't finished, right? I finished it already. 开玩笑. The truth is, the answer is really not important, It's really the process. This is why I've been harping to students, whether it's uni, poly, secondary, or even primary school. The answer is really not important. Even Dharma. Who don't know how to Google nowadays? Very easy to Google, but how do you arrive at the answer? And that is a crucial thing. Yeah, so when we take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, it's not just simply getting the cert, not just getting the passport, not just that, but really to commit ourselves to taking the Buddha as our teacher and then learning his teaching. Yeah, so being a disciple, being a Buddhist, starts with taking refuge. Yeah. It's not a procedure, oh, Sifu, there's a procedure. No. It's because if you don't go through this, that means you're not acknowledging the Buddha as your teacher. Then that means you're not a disciple of the Buddha. Then how can you be a Buddhist? Because Buddhist, by definition, is you are a disciple of the Buddha. Yeah. And that's why it's not a procedure. Yeah. It is just that. Yeah. So if you do that, then there are certain requirements. I mentioned earlier, requirement is the first requirement, most important requirement. You must commit yourself to learning some Dharma. I don't mean that you must go and read through the whole Tripitaka, become Tripitaka master, become a reciter. No. But at least you must know some fundamentals. Number 2, being a Buddhist doesn't mean that you are Buddha. A lot of people are afraid of taking refuge and becoming a Buddhist. Why? Because when they let people know that they are Buddhists, then their friends, their colleagues, their family members even will take that and measure. Yeah? Take the Buddha's image and measure. Huh? Buddhist like that one? Huh? Buddhist like that one? The moment we get upset, I mean, just because you take refuge doesn't mean that you don't get upset. Say no. Huh? You all never get upset already, huh? Huh? For some of you, no? 來嗰啲巴嚟嘅講。No, I mean, it's unrealistic to expect that, oh, just because I'm known as a Buddhist, then I must be perfect like the Buddha. Just because you sign up, you enter primary school, doesn't mean you are the same as the P6 student. What? Doesn't mean that you are like your teacher. What? Correct or not? Precisely, I'm not as good as my teacher, that's why I become the student. Ma. You're called a Buddhist because you're trying to be like Buddha, ma, but not there yet. What? Correct or not? So if people take this and measure you and say, hey, Buddhists like that, then you should look at them and say, yeah, you don't know. This is number 2. Yeah? Being a Buddhist doesn't mean you are a Buddha. Set yourself up for practice, not for disappointment. Yeah? And don't give yourself, as a result, undue pressure. Yeah. This is a huge thing. People are afraid to commit to the teachings because they are afraid that, well, people, take this and say, then they feel, I cannot make it. Yeah. But that is what people think. Doesn't mean it's correct. A lot of students will tell me, hey, Shifu, I heard some people say like this, some people say like that, some people say, at night cannot chant Heart Sutra, at night cannot chant Da Bei Zuo, like this cannot, like that cannot. Who is the some people? Where are the some people? Is it in the classroom 3? Is it next door? Is it your neighbor? Who? Important thing is, who do you take refuge in? In a Buddha, ma? Then the Buddha, the Sangha is the community that the Buddha recognized, ma? Are those some people inside the Sangha? It's like if you want to learn maths, you go to a maths teacher, ma. You don't go and listen to some Tom, Dick and Harry on the street who tell you, no, maths not like that one. Then after that, wow, you are perplexed. Oh. Then you take the train, then you anyhow grab one person, hey, is maths like that? Then after you go and ask everybody who are not expert in maths, and then go and bug your teacher. Teacher, are you sure you teach correctly? Is it really like that? Then the teacher is like, who teach you all this? Oh, there was this person I met in the train, that person I met in the public toilet, then a person... I tell you, your neighbors, your family, I mean, ask yourself, how many times have you heard people tell you something about Buddhism? But when you check with them the source, oh, it's their neighbors say one, their colleagues say one, some auntie say one, some uncle say one. Why do you do that? When you want to go on a holiday, do you anyhow go and ask? When you want to apply for a visa, do you not go to a recognized tour agency? Right? Do you just go past and then anyhow, hey, auntie, I mean, people in the past do that, but come on, this is 2018. Oh. So taking refuge. Besides learning Dharma, there are certain things we as Buddhists should do also. In the Buddha's time, it was a very direct responsibility. In the Buddha's time, they would declare to the Buddha, may the Blessed One take me as a lay disciple from today until the end of my life. So it's a request. Remember, taking refuge is always a request from the person who wants to take refuge. It's not the Buddha, 来啦, 我做徒弟, be my student. Yeah? It's not that Sifu asks you, come on, be my student. No. It's that you all have to request. And when you request, and then in the Buddha's time, then the Buddha remains silent. It means consent by his silence. And by saying that to the Buddha, there's an implication. It means that from now on, whenever the Buddha and his disciples are around in that village, in that town, they can go past his place or her place for alms round. Just alms round, nothing more. For support of some basic requisites. Yeah, because in the Buddha's time, the whole of the Indian continent, it is not that everybody are Buddhist. No, not everybody are Buddhist. Some are non-Buddhist. In fact, there are some suttas where the Buddha cautioned some of his disciples not to go to certain places. Why? Because those places have people who are not Buddhist and are against Buddhist monks. So if the Buddhist monks go there, the Buddha said, if you go there, what if they verbally abuse you? And the monk said, oh, it's okay. At least they didn't hit me. What if they take sticks and stones and hit you? Oh, at least they didn't kill me. What if they try to kill you? And the monk said, well, this body is, like foul, and if they do that, then they are doing me a favor. Only then the Buddha said, in that case, you are ready to go there. But from this, we know that not everybody support the Buddhist monks and nuns. So as a lay Buddhist today, in Singapore, do you see people going on alms round? In a small number. Some of the temple have made arrangements with the neighborhood police post and so on. There's a recognition that they are not soliciting funds. They are not begging. Going on alms round is not begging. Going on alms round is going to places and then receiving whatever is given, whatever is offered. When monks and nuns go on alms, we don't speak actually. We don't go around, no, we actually don't say that, We just go there very mindfully and calmly, walk to let's say walk past a house, and then we just stand outside for a while. We don't stand there and then ding dong. No, cannot. Doesn't mean that we don't speak, then we can gesture like that. No. We'll just stand, and if nobody responds, we'll move to the next house. And that's the proper way of alms round. In many countries that are Buddhist countries, then it has become, in a way, systematized, institutionalized. So there are people who know where the monks are going and prepare food way beforehand. That is another thing that deserves some consideration as well. But in Singapore, not so much of a practice. So as a lay Buddhist, besides learning Dharma, then what is our responsibility? Very directly, support of the Triple Gem. Support of the Triple Gem. And here, when we talk about support, it's not just material support. Attending classes is a form of support also. I've been sharing this with some students. Sometimes when we learn some Dharma, we may feel like, wow, I never heard of this. Wow, I want to hear more. Then you hear, then after a while, this one last year here before. This one 2 years ago here before. But those who attend Heart Sutra class, you know that there are some students who attend Heart Sutra 3 times, 4 times. And after that, take a break for a while, then after that come back, something new again. It's not that Sifu keep teaching something new, no. 260 characters didn't change that. It's that your understanding has increased, has deepened. So when you hear the same thing, you have a deeper appreciation. Case in point, in the Buddha's time, the Arahants, when the Buddha gave teaching, Arahants already completed the whole set of course training perfect already, you know. Do they still need to listen to teachings? Actually, they don't need, no. But whenever they know that the Buddha is in town, they delight in it. They look forward to hearing the teaching expounded by the Buddha. They don't say, huh? 5 aggregates. Buddha, anything new or not? I have appointment later. I just come lah. But besides 5 aggregates, anything else? If not, can I go first? Arahants, they don't do this. So many years back, there was this group of Buddhist society who invited me. Then they are very cute, students, undergrads. So the funny thing, because they are very innocent, so they tell me directly, no. They ask me, Venerable, what are you going to teach? Because those participants, they have attended basic Buddhism. So they are, maybe you can teach something more advanced. More advanced. So what do they want to learn? Intermediate things lah. So what do you mean by basic Buddhism that I shouldn't teach? Things like Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path, all these are basic things they have learned already. Then I laugh. I say, really? They are intermediate? I say, yeah, they are intermediate already. And I look at them, they are the organizers. I said, if they are really intermediate, they will not reject Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. If they are advanced, they will embrace Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. They will not reject it. It is because you have not even understood, haven't properly heard Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path. Not even beginner. That's why you think, I don't need to listen anymore. Every time I cover Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path myself, I find, wow, there's something. You imagine, over the past 10, 12 years, I've been covering Heart Sutra. Every year, at least 2 or 3, sometimes 4 times, a year. I've been covering the same thing, You all think you're all bored? I'm not bored, you're bored. When I look through the Nikayas, you'll find that there are a lot of repetition. A lot of repetition. And sometimes the same sutra with many sutras on the same topic, the only differing point is the interculator, the person who asked the question. And so when they do translation, they just list out for the first sutra, the second sutra, they just put the difference. Bhadra, the wanderer, asked, and then ... same as sutta number 22 or something. And a lot of suttas all identical. Why? 45 years later. But Buddha was teaching one truth about this world. And from this I learned something else. The Buddha, the Arahants, they teach as it is. They are not teaching to impress people. They are teaching to enlighten people. Easy to impress people, just keep on coming up with new things. And then after you run out of things, come up with your own things. But the Buddha and the Arahants, for 45 years, if 10 person asks about 5 aggregates, the Buddha explained the 5 aggregates as it is. 100%, same thing. So you've got to ask yourself, when we learn the Dharma, do we sometimes have a feeling, we look at the topic first. We look at SGC topic. Wow, what is this topic? Seems like Four Noble Truths. This tricky monk trying to hide it. Bo pian, because you're like that. We should cultivate ourselves in this way. As long as it's Dharma, we should put in effort to want to listen. Because one, unless we have reached Arahanthood, and even those who are Arahant, they are okay. So who are we? 2, when we attend, it actually lends support to those who are new, who are just hearing it for the first time. And maybe when you hear the number 10 times or number 16 times, suddenly you realize, how come all these years I never hear this part? Then you may ask a question. many years back when I was sharing the Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path and the Dependent Origination at Samadhi Buddhist Society. After class, my sister, during class, I saw my sister weeping, I was like, what happened? After class, she told me, she said, whatever you taught, I know. She was from the Buddhist Society last time. She said, I also know. But somehow I never saw the connection that you described today. So you never know, Sometimes it's not that the teacher point out the link, but when you hear it often enough and you have deepened enough, then you see it. So as a lay disciple, you have the duty to learn yourself, and continue to support the Triple Gem, not just about Tong Lui, but attend Dharma class, attend Dharma talk. Because it encourages those who have not learned to learn. And then there are many things. I just want to wrap up the last point. To share the Dharma. Sharing comes in many ways. The easiest way to share is just go and buy a book, give it to people. A lot of free distribution, yes, share with people. But I strongly encourage this. Before you share any book with people, read it yourself. Because if you have read it yourself, and when you share, it's different from you just pick up and then share. Why? Sifu, is there a difference? It's the same as if a person haven't watched a movie and asks you to go and watch, then you ask, is it very nice? Don't know lah. Huh? What do you mean you don't know? Have you watched it before? No. Will you be convinced to watch? Whereas the person, very nice. Watch this. I've watched 10 times already. Difference. And then because you have watched 10 times, if the person is really interested to hear a bit, you can tell some juicy parts, then so the same for Dharma. So easiest way is share by passing the person a book. But the book that you have read. Number 2, nowadays besides books, you can also do what? You can also go online, share the YouTube link. Our YouTube channel is SG Cultivation. Shameless plug. But you don't have to share mine, okay? There are a lot of Dharma online now. 10 years, 20 years ago, very few. Nowadays, so much. And the reason why you should not always just share mine is because not everybody connect with the same teacher. Maybe you connect with my teaching, but not everybody connect. So you try, you share one from Shifu, then no response. Then share one from, let's say, Ajahn Kajino. See, no response. One from Ajahn Brahm. No response. One from Venerable Tupten children. See, no response. Why? Then you must ask yourself, maybe all Angmo one, all speak English, Then maybe your friend is 是不是的? Then you look, 圆清法师的, okay, try. Immediately, this one quite good, where can I find more? Then you know. You must remember, when you give Dharma, you are trying to benefit that person, not just share what you like. Then besides that, after learning a lot, then you can share also. Then some people say, but Sifu, I don't know much. Don't know much, then don't share much, lor. Just share a bit, lor. Who wants you to share a lot? You know a bit, share a bit, lor. Correct or not? Correct or not? Say yes. Yes. Third thing, so one is share what people have said. Number 2 is share what you have learned and then share with them. But let me give you one tip about this. Don't just share and quote the thing and throw it out at people. Share with them how it has helped you change. Nothing, in a way, sells better than that. You tell them, Shifu say this, Shifu say that, that master say this, Buddha say that. Who don't know? I cannot read. I don't have eye. But if you share with them how the teaching has touched you and helped you look at things differently, then they are like, wait, really? But of course, it must have changed you. You never change, then you say change until, Wu Ling Hong. Third level is, without you saying, just change yourself. That is the highest level of teaching the Dharma. Change yourself. This is in line with, if you go and look at Dhamma Sutra, chapter 32. Answer is inside. Okay? So next week, you got question? Oh, question, okay.
Sorry.
Yes.
I'm just curious. Just now you said that the Buddha, the monk goes for the alms, right? So what do we do with the alms?
If you see people going on alms.
Yeah, what do you give or what?
Give food, lor.
Oh, what kind of food? Any food or what?
Any food. Yeah.
Then we need to give.
When you see a monk on alms, you can give them any kind of food. But in modern context, maybe you can just get vegetarian food for them.
Okay, let's say I'm not come to my place, my house.
If I come go to your house,
Yeah, outside the
then
house.
of course you must be. I go to your house. I don't just randomly go to people's house. If I go means that you invited me.
If somebody go to your place.
Or one day you just happen to open the door and then you see Sifu.
What should I do actually? Because family may not be a vegetarian.
Okay.
Then what I must do? Because the food that I have my mom.
So don't worry. If you are not a vegetarian and you see a monk going on alms round, those who go on alms round practice what we call pindapata. Pindapata literally means whatever is dropped into the bowl. So they will eat whatever you drop inside. But please don't go and drop tissue paper lah. You eat lah, you eat, show me. Your karma, not my karma. Next time when you go restaurant, people keep throwing tissue, I don't know. So typically, whatever you offer, they will accept. Yeah. But this is one more reason why monks don't go on alms round in Singapore. 80% stay in HDB. HDB door is closed. Walk there, stand there, then nobody. Then walk, then finally once someone open, ma'am not in, ma'am not in. Well, how? Yeah. So for alms round, typically, one thing, we only go on alms round in the morning. Yeah, from break of dawn until about 11 plus, because we need time to go back and then finish our meal. So usually it will be break of dawn about Singapore is about 6 plus 7, up to about 10 plus 11. So if you see people going on alms in the afternoon, you are not obliged to give. Yeah, in fact, as a lay Buddhist, you all should go up and ask, "Hello Bante," if it's wearing Theravadan. "Hello Bante," if it's Chinese, "Fa Shi," Tibetan, then you "Lama," just use whatever language. Then you ask, "What time is it now? Are you still go?" No, you bow first lah. Respectfully, you bow. Yeah. Are you lost? Singapore time is now already 3 o'clock. Yeah. Number 2. So number 1 is timing. Number 2, for alms round, we only go on alms in the morning for food. Yeah. For our robes, we don't go to strangers like this. Yeah. So typically for robes, we would have our robes from the community or from those who are our relation or those who are close, like devotees who have offered. Like until today, any of you have ever been approached by Sifu, "Hey, got robes for me or not?" Because our robes today and in the past is quite different. Clothing's last time, cloth is a scarce commodity. Today, it's abundant. Yeah. And these are very durable. Yeah, these are very durable. You can wear this for 5 years, 10 years, no problem. Yeah. So sometimes we have excess robes, we actually give it out to those who are newly ordained or those from other countries, they need it. Yeah. So typically like this. Third case, those who go around then want to give you one pendant, give you one Buddha, whatever. that is actually improper. Yeah. Whatever the monks and nuns do, we do it voluntarily. Yeah. If you all support us, you support voluntarily also. Then both sides there's merit, ma. Yeah. Then that is something wholesome. If we do something for money and you give something because we give a service, then it's a transaction. Then it's a transaction. That's why when you take Grab, you don't call it an offering. You don't kneel down and then, Uncle, $14, this is, may you be well and happy. You don't do this, ma. Because you take it as a transaction. Yeah. But imagine if every time you take Grab, then when you give, of course you don't kneel down, otherwise the uncle also swa. But when you give, you take it as you are doing an offering. Yeah. Then whole day you have chance to do offering. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yes.
So those people who post on the alms bowl and the money inside is not.
It's actually not a proper practice.
Oh, okay. Then last time they says that to recognize whether it's fake or what, those without shoe is the real one.
then 师傅 wear shoe 脚啊！哇，要拆穿我！
No, because they were teaching us how to tell.
Who teach one? What kind of teaching is that?
Because they says that.
Who say? They say, you see, the day. Who is the day? 姓什么 the day? Yeah, look for the IC, surname day. Who said that?
No, because they were trying to.
They were trying. Who is the
my
day?
friends lah.
Your friends?
Teach us lah.
Your friend from which Buddhist college one?
No, because
This is called the blind leading the blind.
no, because we don't give money into the alms bowl.
Okay, give money aside. Your friends, I like to think that your friends shared with good intent. But this is like what I said. You know, some friends, they really think that they know the way. Then they sincerely lead you to the wrong place. Salah lah. Yeah. You don't look at a person's shoe or no shoe to determine whether it's a real monk or not. Right? Wow, luckily now no shoe. No lah, it's not like this. In the Vinaya, the Buddha allowed footwear. Yes, the Buddha allowed footwear. The actual incident was, Buddhism has spread to many places, and in one of the far outlying areas, the road was very coarse. Yeah, the land was very coarse, very rocky. So at that point in time, they were not wearing footwear, and their legs were hurt. And then one incident, the other incident is, there were not many Buddhists there, and so not many fully ordained monks. And so there were many who only received novice, samanera, 10 precepts. They cannot be fully ordained. So the senior monk sent 2 of them to look for the Buddha in the westward area. So to ask the Buddha for permission on a few things. 2 of them was, number 1, to allow footwear. Out of compassion, allow us to have footwear. Otherwise, just go on Amshram 1 round, come back, pingsan for 3 days. Number 2, to ask for permission with regards to higher ordination. So the Buddha allowed up to 3 layers of the leather footwear. Yeah. Then number 2, the Buddha allowed, instead of 10 fully ordained monks, just require 5. Then you can ordain new higher ordained monks. So among other things. Yeah. So footwear is not, yeah, I have heard of from some students before, hey, Sifu, wow, we went to Thailand, wow, the village monks are, wow, very pure one. Don't even wear shoes. Then I look at them like, then what's in wear? Aiyo. Then how I even have one? No, nothing to do with that. Oh. Last question.
I attended one of the workshop SBL. And the
SBL?
Yeah, once before.
SBL? Where is SBL? This BL,
BL.
not SBL.
Buddhist library. The monk was from UK and Angmo monk. Then at the end of I attended a workshop. In this Angmo monk. Because for offering, to me, I don't know what to offer. To me, I give ang pao lah. So it's just out of just offering lah.
Yes. Yes.
Then the Angmo mom said, "What is this? Money? Money inside?" No, I look at him blankly. I didn't know what to answer. He said, "Yeah, inside money." Can? Cannot. Then after he looked at me, what I think, okay. Then he just accept. So the question is, am I doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing?
Maybe you should have clarified whether it's Sing dollar or USD. Well, give me Sing dollar, I still have to go and exchange.
I didn't know. To me, it didn't cross my mind because I'm used to doing that.
Yeah.
So offering, I mean, yeah, inside is money.
So I have a question. When you did that, were there others who offered?
Everybody offered, don't know what, honey lah, and all sort of fruits. No, all sort of, like sauce like that.
叫听导游的。
So you know what I'm trying to say? Because I ever seen, last night I used to stay at Jalan Malaysia. There are all those moms from the Burmese temple.
Yeah.
Then they come. Then you see people carry a bag of sugar lah, a bag of the pear.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Why you give your sugar to the monk? Give your sugar everything.
That's why there's all the diabetes.
To
Okay.
me, giving ang pao is more practical. Then you can do whatever you want to do. You eat like your bite also can.
Yeah, that's the thing. Don't want him to do that. Okay, first things first. Give with a good intent. Yeah, and I'm sure you were giving with a good intent. Then number two is depending on the tradition. Yeah, depending on the tradition, depending on the lineage. When I first came back from US, I don't accept ang pao also. So there are still some lineages that don't accept that. But pros and cons are, because for some of them, they would have a kapaya. Kapaya is basically a steward, an attendant who is a lay person who will attend to it. So imagine if, let's say, Zoping is my kapia, imagine, okay? Then every time when you all want to fetch me, you all need to make sure that there's 2-person seat instead of 1-person seat. So if you want to fly me to, let's say, Japan to give a talk, you need to buy 2 tickets. Yeah. And then when you arrange accommodation, you need to make sure that there's accommodation for 1 more room for the kapia. So in today's context, then it seems like a lot of extra expenditure. For me personally, I don't know about other monks or nuns. For me personally, the offerings that you all give, I take it as I'm holding it as a custodian. Yeah. So there was a period of time where ang paos from 5-6 years ago have not been touched yet. Yeah, that means I have not even used that yet. Yeah, simply because I don't go shopping. Yeah, the ropes, as I said, we use it for 5 years, 10 years easily. Yeah, and wherever we stay, even now, there's enough food to, very rare for me to, what should I eat? No, whatever is inside the place, whether here, residence, or other places, there's food is the least of concern. So if food is taken care of, clothing is taken care of, lodging. Yeah, so there was a time where some devotees were arranging for rental, then it's a fixed cost. So as long as they take care of that, then transport. So some students now ask me, "Wow, Sifu, the place you stay is quite hard to go, huh? I have to climb up the stairs." I say, in the end, I never climbed before because I never really go out. So whenever I go out, students will arrange for transport. Yeah, sometimes they will grab for me. Yeah, sometimes when I go for public talks, where it's government or other institutions, then I just either take Grab or I take the bus, go to next, then take MRT. Yeah, then it's a transit link card. So in such a case, I'm technically not touching money, right? Except when I'm receiving the ang pao. But that's just following the letter, isn't it? Yeah, because today, yeah, I can say that the bank is my kapia. Whenever I need something, I just tell the bank, please pay. Yeah, correct or not? Because ultimately, it's about what the Buddha said about the use of money. That typically, you think about our usual usage of money, it is not to help people. Majority of our usage is to satisfy our whims and fancy, to gratify ourselves. Yeah, a huge part of it. Granted, as lay Buddhists, many of us would also use a part of our income, our savings, to help people. Yeah, and when we use it in this way, then it's wholesome. It produces fruits. Whereas when you just use it to gratify yourself, yeah, it also produce your pleasure, and that's it. So you are using up your past merit to just produce some pleasure, and that's it. Yeah. So how can we support the Sangha? I don't say that they are wrong. I think it's a beautiful thing to continue that practice. So good to check. Yeah, good to check. Usually for those who don't receive the ang pao, they would have a kapia. So you can ask them, do you have a kapia with you? Just say kapia, they will know lah. Those who are observing this, they know kapia.
I saw another monk sitting there. I don't know monk. Yeah, looks like monk.
Kapia cannot be a monk. Must be a lay person. Yeah. So you just ask them, do you have a kapia? Then if not, I'd like to provide some funds for your usage or for your center. Let me know how to do it. How? So next week I will touch on beyond being a Buddhist. Every week we recite this verse, the dedication. Yeah, what does it mean? Next week I'll touch on that. Okay? 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
普愿罪障悉消除，
普愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛，起立。